Good day, ma'am and sir, especially our instructor, Doc Niliyama, sir. So my topic it's all about punishment practice in China. So let me present to you the President of the People's Republic of China today, Xi Jinping. So my objectives is are the principal punishment, supplementary punishment, application of punishment, and my conclusion. So in China, a person who commits a crime may be sentenced to 8 types of punishment, of which 5 types of punishments are principal punishments, and the 3 types of punishments are the supplementary punishments. So, these are the principal punishments. So, there are 5. So, una, public surveillance. Number 2, criminal detention. Number 3, fixed term imprisonment. 4, life imprisonment. 5, the death penalty. And the last is the supplementary punishment, which should be fine, deprivation of political rights, the confiscations of property. So, under the principal punishments, so number 1, the public surveillance. So, the term of public surveillance shall be not less than 3 months, but not more than 2 years. So where a criminal is sentenced to public surveillance, the sentence shall be executed by public security organ. So any criminal who is sentenced to public surveillance shall observe the following during the term in which his sentence is being executed. So observe laws and administrative rules and regulations and submit to supervisions. Exercise no right of freedom to speech, of the press, of assembly, of associations, of procession, or demonstrations without the approval of the organ executing the public surveillance. So, in terms of report of his own activities as required by the organ executing the public surveillance. So, number 2, criminal detention. A term of criminal detention shall be not less than 1 month but more than 6 months. Where a criminal is sentenced to criminal detention and the sentence shall be executed by the public security organ in vicinity. So, before we proceed the fixed term, so, nakoy add-on na niya. During the period of execution, a criminal sentenced to criminal detention may go home for 1 to 2 days each month, and appropriate remunerations may be given to those who participate in the labor. So, sa Pilipinas na, bayataan ni good term conduct, and that sa Pilipinas na. So, a term of criminal detention shall be counted from the day the judgment begins to execute it. So, 3 and 4, fixed term imprisonment and life imprisonment. So, a term of fixed term imprisonment shall be not less than 6 months but not more than 15 years except as stipulated in Articles 50 and 69 of this law. So, a term of fixed term imprisonment shall be counted from the date a judgment begins to be executed if the criminal is held in custody before the execution of the judgment. 1 day in the custody shall be considered 1 day of the term sentence. So, the death penalty shall only be applied to criminals who have been committed extremely serious crimes. If the immediate execution of criminal punishable by death not deemed necessary, a 2-year suspension of execution may be pronounced simultaneously with the imposition of the death sentence. So, and death penalty DI shall not be imposed on a person who have not reached the age of 18 at the time the crime is committed, or on a woman who are pregnant at the time of trial. So, the fines. The amount of any fine imposed shall be determined according to the circumstances of the crime. A fine may be paid in lump sum or installments within the time limit specified in the judgment. If a fine is not paid upon the expirations of that time limit, the payment shall be compelled. If a person is not able to pay the fine in full, the people's court shall demand the payment whether it finds the person has property for execution of fines. So, add on, if a person has true difficulties in paying because of an irresistible disaster, the fine may be reduced or remitted according to the circumstances. So, magdepende ra gid siya. So, under the supplementary punishment, so deprivation of political rights. So, these are the following: the right to vote, to stand for election, the right to freedom of speech, of the press, of assembly, of association, of procession and demonstration, the right to hold a position in the state organ, and the right to hold a leading position in any state-owned company, enterprise, institution, or people's organizations. So, number 8, confiscations of property. So, refers to the confiscation of the part or all of the property personally owned by the criminal. Where a confiscation of all the property of criminal is imposed, the amount necessary for the daily expenses of criminal himself and the family members supported by him shall be taken out. So, application of punishments. So, number 1, sentencing. So, a punishment shall be meted out on the basis of the facts, nature, the circumstances of a crime, the degree of harm done to the society, and the relevant provision of a law. So, number 2, recidivist. If a criminal commits another crime punishable by fixed term imprisonment or heavier penalty within 5 years after serving his sentence of not less than fixed term imprisonment or receiving a pardon, he is a recidivist and shall be given a heavier punishment. However, this shall not apply to cases of negligent crime. So, add on, for criminals who are paroled, the period stipulated in preceding paragraph shall be counted from the date the parole expires.